right, who was here for this presentation on Thursday? Let's see, show of hands. Oh, not too many. All right. Well, the good news is Harlen's managed to change it up a little. So you guys are in for a real treat. It's going to be awesome. All right. I'm Tadge Jeuchter. I'm the vehicle chief engineer. We've got Kirk Bennion there, exterior design manager, and the guy that needs no introduction, Harlen Charles, Corvette product manager. I feel like I need to say something for all of us. This is a time to reflect, especially this weekend. There are so many people here that are such a key part of Corvette's legacy, of its history. We've got people here that have imparted a lot of talent, wisdom, legacy, technical know-how. It's really incredible. I got to be a part of a dinner last night and be in the presence of some amazing people, and just walking around this facility, you might happen to run into some people that have had a massive part in Corvette history, and without them, we might not even have a Corvette, whether it's racing, the production car, and certainly, and I count myself in that, we're all enthusiasts. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Harlen.
Yeah, so as we know, we're here also to celebrate our chief, Tadge Juechter, getting into the Corvette Hall of Fame, of course, well deserved, sitting in the front. How many? We had up north, we had a retirement party for Tadge. So I apologize, you're going to see some of this again, but we thought it'd be fun to share some of these things with the rest of you who know Tadge really well. And because it started, he kind of asked for one of our meetings, like, oh, can you put together some pictures, of the time together? Because Tadge and I, we worked together 24 years, so that's better than a lot of marriages, I have to say. But one thing, Mark Royce at our meeting presented this, is that we're replacing the Zora icon with the Tadge icon starting in 2025 on every Corvette windshield, as well as every zero windshield. Generations, we told Tadge's new replacement Tony Roma, he's got to get to like C12 or C13 to even come close. And the awards that we've won under Tadge's leadership have been incredible. I mean, we North American Car of the Year, SAE Best Engineered Car, Motor Trend Car of the Year, Car and Driver 10 Best. You name the award, and we've won that under Tadge. And Tadge won some personal recognition, named Auto All-Star, as well as even Man of the Year. And they do these rankings in some of the magazines of the hot hitters of the auto industry. And Tadge doesn't like when I show this, because he said it's not political astute to be ranked higher than his boss. But well, also, speaking of politics, Tadge got to meet then Vice President Biden at the Detroit Auto Show, and here's Tadge explaining that these Corvettes have more storage room than you think. You could probably store a ton of secret documents in there. The pretty chief up there was not amused. He's like, Tadge has friends on both sides of the aisle. Here's Mitch McConnell, Senator from Kentucky, congratulating Tadge on his career. We love those Corvettes, and think about what Corvette does for the economy in this state. So another big accolade. So we have at work, we have kind of some of our favorite Tadge-isms, Tadge likes to say. We'll be like real excited about something, pass a major milestone, and he's kind of calm. He's like, that's directionally correct. And every event presentation, we've been doing these presentations, including this one, he's going to say, it was too long, but it's also lacking content. But a good vote of confidence would be if you would say, I resign myself to accept it. or better than I expected. He did have this comment, he said the interior should not look like the org chart of our company. So that's good. And then, he's been very supportive, when we tried to do, expand Z06 and Z01 into even convertible models. And he would tell people, not offering customers what they want is not a good business strategy. One of my favorites too is I remember we were doing the reveal in Tustin, and he's having a little bit of argument there with the communications people about what to put in the prompter and how to word it. And finally he just says, you can put it in the prompter or not, I'm going to say it the way I want to say it anyway. Tadge came up the line, when you drive a Corvette, you're a superhero. So for our team, I thought, well, maybe when you work on the Corvette, you're a superhero. Or if you prefer the Marvel universe, there's us there. And then here's baby Tadge. So baby Tadge, we found these pictures. Thanks, Mary there. And he kind of had two paths he could have taken. He really liked cars, as you can see, but he also liked bombs. So the good news for us is he chose to put his career in cars, and his hobby is just bombs. And people always want to know, who does Tadge look like? Here's Auto Week saying he thought he looked a little bit like Clint Eastwood. I've heard that before. I think he's more like the Make My Day Clint Eastwood, though, than to Get Off My Lawn. And then I got sucked into this too. We did this event, for United Way. They had the highest bidder was Reader Chevrolet, just down here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we did a presentation there. And I found this online where they thought that we looked like Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates have been involved with General Motors before. Here's their Fiero album. And Tadge was a good-looking teenager as well, but I think I've seen him somewhere before. And then, when I met Tadge, early on, I thought he was a young guy, but I thought he looked a little bit like an older young guy. And now I think he looks like a younger, older guy. So he's kind of the same. He's kind of the same over the years. And so this one, I was kind of proud of. Kirk was involved. This was actually signed. Somebody had one of these to sign yesterday. This was the 2012 Corvette catalog, and I actually did some interviews right over here. We had Doug Feehan, Kirk, myself. So I brought this home, all proud of it. Look, we're in the catalog. And I go, what you guys look like? Serial killer, rapist, pedophile, drug dealer. So there's Oliver Gavin, who's also going in the Hall of Fame. So we got to go to Geneva to introduce the Corvette Grand Sport Collector Edition, the 2017 model. And they had this so well rehearsed, Tadge was there early and Oliver. But for some reason, even though Oliver is the driver, they wanted Tadge to drive the car out. So he had it, where it stopped on a dime, we did it a few times. So we're getting ready to go, and the communication guys come to me and go, can you do Tadge's part? We can't find him. I go, really? I go, what's up the car, whatever. He goes, we'll figure it out. So it turns out what happened, Tadge was waiting in the car for this to start, and they made him turn the air off because there was they didn't want condensation on the floor, and it got too hot, so he got out of the car and went into the, just outside the show, there's a little side door to cool off, because it's getting too hot before the show. So then the door slams behind him and locks him out. So he's trying to knock and get back in. They go, you can't come in, we got a show starting. And he didn't have his wallet, he didn't have his show pass. Everybody there speaks French. He's trying to get in, and then finally at the last minute, some guy came out to smoke a cigarette. He got in the car, and made it just in time.
We're closed.
And Tadge is a good dresser usually, but not always. So this was the Dubai presentation. You see, you have sheiks there. We got our marketing executives all dressed up. We got Tom Peters and Tadge came right off the plane and showed off the new 01 there. And then, Tadge is very efficient cooling. So here we were in Carlisle, on a hot day, a little getting a little sweaty there. And this lady in the back says, oh my God, he's sweating like a poodle at Michael Vick's house. And then we do this coordination. I mean, Devin does it, and before that, Kelly, Barb, make sure we all wear the same color shirts. But, he goes his own way. This was the last Corvette quarterly ride we did. Actually, it was for the 09-01. We went out in Colorado, and one of the dealers out there, he recommended, he goes, oh, I got this friend, he's a helicopter pilot, he loves Corvettes, he'll give you guys a ride in the helicopter. So this guy, Vietnam vet, thanks for your service, but he had no fear of anything. But he was going to prove to us what a helicopter could do versus a Corvette. So we're like, going up the mountain, there's like a cliff, and he just lets it free fall down there. Tadge is in the front, I'm in the back, I see sky, ground, I don't know what's going to happen, but that's a ride we will never forget, obviously. So Tadge had the pleasure, being on the Jay Leno's garage several times. Kirk's been on it. A lot of people, a few other people on the team have been on it. I finally thought I was going to get my chance to be on it. They were doing a thing with Kendall Jenner. She had a 57 Corvette. It was 60 years old. We were going to bring her 2017 Grand Sport. And he said, well, Tadge is going on vacation. Do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And at the last minute, vacation plans canceled. I think Tadge wanted to meet Kendall Jenner. So he goes out there, and I said, I was just curious. I go, how is it going? And this is no lie, this is the exact text I got about how it was going. He said, my job here is mainly to move Kendall's car as everybody's scared. They were simultaneously shooting an episode of The Kardashians. It's a major CF. No way Kendall's going to drive the new Grand Sport, but Caitlin says hi and she likes your hair. Getting a little more serious, I think my greatest memory, and my greatest thing that I'm the most proud of is getting to work with Tadge was on the mid-engine Corvette. You see this chart, this was an old chart back from 2005, and at that time it was going to be C7, but this is all talking about how we were going to make the mid-engine Corvette a car that nobody else in the world can do, combine the things people love about Corvettes with exotic mid-engine performance and attributes, and really been partners and had to promote that. It took a long time to get that out, but it's one of the things I'm really proud of, our partnership working on that. And one of the things we did when we first got serious, we did this kickoff in Atlanta, near Road Atlanta, and we brought a lot of the competitive mid-engine cars at the time out there. See Johnny O'Connell's up there in the upper corner. There's Tadge in the Ferrari. There's me begging, can I get a chance to drive the Ferrari? He's like, okay, here we go. But, and again, we worked with Pratt and Miller. We talked a little bit, Tadge talked a little bit about this yesterday, to just prove analytically with their tools what the weight distribution would do for acceleration, and even Nürburgring labs to prove that it was the right direction to go for Corvette performance. You can see the GMX 721. That would have been that was a proposal for C7 at that time. And here's that car. Kirk was really the leader in that car and the design of that. And this was just our architecture model. So it really would have been a neat car. And then we were always scared, because that car did get canceled, with the GM financial issues and stuff. But we always cemented that it would go forward. But there was always a thing in the back of our heads, and our little inside joke between the two of us, like, I guess as we got further along, could they still cancel us? Could they still cancel us? Finally, when he had the ride with, he drove Mary Barra in New York to announce the reveal date in the camouflage car. I think we're good now. I don't think they're going to cancel us now, that said. And of course, Tadge has so many fans everywhere we go. I've seen beyond, I think I saw this car, the one up here at the event here. People have done their own tributes for Tadge. They didn't ask his permission, but they do it anyway. Of course, what an honor. Of course, signing things. I think the autograph line yesterday was probably a record. And here's somebody that envisioned their new Corvette as the child of Mary Barra and Tadge to put this on the adoption process is going smoothly. And you know, it's hard to replace these chief engineers. You know, where do we find this kind of talent? There's Tom over there. But, you know, going forward, you know, Tadge told me you gotta, you know, eat and drink healthier going forward. You know, Tadge does take good care of himself. Continue to run. The one thing I'm amazed at this picture, I go, how did you let Kirk and Brett beat you in running? I thought you were faster. And then continue to ride your bike wherever you may go. And then, you know, he has a lot of skills that he's learned that he could work post-retirement if he wants to start another career, doing different things. And Tadge, you know, Mary are good with animals, so Tadge could work with animals. He worked with us animals for so long as well. And again, no, we don't think you should be a doctor, even if you're offering free exams. And he does have an eye for value. He does have an eye for value. And he does dress for success. And you gotta keep a firm grip on reality, of course. And, you know, live large. Gotta check him for the Snapchat stuff there. And again, you know, we're gonna miss all the stuff we've gotten to do. You know, thanks to Tadge, all of us here have gotten to do great things with Corvette. Here's we get, you know, I don't keep credits here. He catches us driving around on our development rides and stuff. It's always fun to see when we get caught. Of course, all these presentations we've done over the years, radio shows, Carlisle, events at Carlisle. Everybody was asking where Tadge was. That's the #1 question this year. Of course, just this last bash is our last, you were right here, last presentation. But I'll have to learn to survive without him somehow with my other friends that I have here. But Tadge has always been so supportive. Here's his last day of work, July 31st. He gave the recognition for a thinking customer, his very last thing. So I always appreciate, you know, he's always been supportive, always had a great team as well. So congratulations on your retirement. We all miss you. You've done so much for all of us, so much for all the customers here. We wouldn't have all these great Corvettes, you know, especially this latest generation, getting these new customers. Corvette is really having, I think, the best time, the most successful time in the history of Corvette, thanks to Tadge. I talked about this yesterday, how we're the #1 Corvette. We're the #1 seller even under age of 35, even despite Tadge buying his own Corvette and being in that average. And I think we had a Boeing Green record last year, so it's because of Tadge and things I think all of us feel that we've got to be involved in some of the greatest things we could ever hope to do in our lives and meet all of you and everything like that. So, I was looking at the 01 reveal. This was Mary's idea. This is our last reveal of the 01. And again, thanks again. Josh.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Harlen. I've seen that presentation at least 3 times. Never gets old. I have a lot of explanations for it, but I'm not going to bother. We have had a fantastic time, and you know, Harlen has pretty much a photographic memory for that entire 24 years, which I don't. I'm always looking forward. You know, what's next? That's why it's like, okay, you know, whatever success we had is behind us. We're going to celebrate on the run. We're just going to be moving forward the whole time. But a lot of people have asked me, "You're gonna write a book? You've been through so much. It would be great." It's like, I don't even remember that much, honestly, because I was thinking ahead. But Harlen does remember it, so I hope he writes a book. And I would be more than happy to collaborate with him someday on that, because he remembers it. And I'm sure there's me remembering it. And between us, we've got like one whole brain of Corvette stuff that we could put down on paper someday. So anyway, I'm super honored, obviously. You guys have just been fantastic to me. It's been fantastic here, and it should be really great. I hope a lot of you are coming tonight for the induction ceremony. We're really looking forward to that.
And Harlan's presentation, it's been a big hit. He actually toned it down a little bit for this audience. There's some other pictures in there that weren't shown today. I'm a really ugly crier, so I'm not going to say any more about Tadge here this morning, but what an honor it's been to work with him, and what a tremendous leader he's been. It's certainly the highlight of my career, just being able to work with him and learn from him. Such a mentor and a great leader. We got a quick interjection, just keep showering him with accolades. One more award to give. This one is pretty cool though. A few years ago, maybe 10-ish years ago, it's been a while. Don Bingaman, why don't you head up here? Tadge and Don got to talking at one of the events, I think it might have been a bash. And they were talking about the alignment between Phantom Works at Boeing and the Corvette team. And Tadge, of course, has a background in aerospace. One of his degrees is in that. And the alignment between how you develop something that's really the tip of the spear and innovative, and the working relationship within the team, how you build a team, how you collaborate. And Tadge did a lot with our team. I remember him asking us for ideas about, how we do things a little differently, what makes us more efficient. And I know that he and Don collaborated on that, so I'll let Don talk to the award he's presenting.
About 10 years ago, the Boeing management and the Phantom Works management said, "Hey, we've got 3 rapid prototypes we've got to do in 6 years. They're all critical to the company, and we only have the money for one." So they gave me and my team a task to go benchmark and find out how to do this faster, cheaper, etc. And they said, "You know everything in aerospace, go look outside." So I had just bought a Corvette, and it's got an aluminum frame, it's got composite skins, it goes fast, it's got to be close to an airplane, right? I also found out Tadge has a degree in aeronautical engineering, so I thought, okay. So we gave Kim called Tadge's secretary and said, "Hey, can you set something up?" Expecting to get a nice, "Thank you very much, we'll call you sometime later." And to my surprise, Tadge collaborated with us at least 3 or 4 times, benchmarking our processes versus what you guys are doing. And there were more parallels than there were differences. But there's some key things that Tadge related to us that helped a great deal. And one of it, which I laughed at the time, but actually ended up being a pretty good thing, where you make the engineers build the first one. So the manufacturing guys can tell them how stupid they are in terms of how to assemble a part, right? Because if you design a part that has to go inside of boxes there first, that's not going to work. So his inputs to us were really important, really timely. And as a result, all 3 of those aircraft were built on schedule, under budget, and they all flew. One was the T-7, which is the new primary trainer for the United States Air Force. The second is the MQ-25, which is the first unmanned aircraft that will ever fly off an aircraft carrier. And the third, I can't talk about yet, because Secretary Kendall hasn't announced it. But believe me, that one's going to be the ZR-1. So, Tadge, thank you very much for everything you did for us. We have some swag in there for you, and I'll open one up for you, because if I don't give it to you, Bennion's going to steal it. This is a rare model. It's the first. If you guys can see this. RCS aircraft that has ever been better. And if you want to see it, it's hanging above the F-22 at the Air Force Museum. Radar cross section. Yes, picture of the first flight of the MQ-25. The MQ-25 is the first unmanned aircraft that will go operational off CBN aircraft carrier. And it's going to have a major role for the Navy. It is a refueler. It can carry strike weapons, and it can also carry cameras, radar, etc. for ISR. So Tadge was an important part of all these things coming together. And we thank you very much for everything you've done for us.
So, thank you very much. I remember the day when you called, and honestly, my first thought was, why the hell would they ask us anything? This is aerospace, for Christ's sakes. You know, they ought to know how to do their business. But then I thought later, well, maybe we can learn from them. And so we set up these kind of sharing sessions where we talked about our processes. And we had more commonality around our jobs, and there were differences, but there were subtle things that we could learn from each other. And I didn't actually think that much of it afterwards. I was like, okay, that was great, that was really nice. And then it wasn't until I saw you much later that you talked about the impact it had internally. And I still have the coin that you gave me about what's to come yet. Something deadly comes, it sounds like. This is the kind of thing that rarely happens in industry, I would say, cooperating across different segments of industry. And so it's true. I ended up at General Motors, but I also interviewed at Pratt & Whitney and Lockheed, and I thought I was going to go aerospace actually after college. And it's a long, tortured story how we ended up here, but I'm super glad I ended up here, but I'm super glad also that our paths connected and that we're able to help with these two fantastic all-American products.